Good day, everyone. Thanks. It's me here in Bermuda. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, okay. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate the support that this team has brought to the table with Andrew there. And thank you, Silky, for activating the hip hop fraternity, I guess, and the Compton community, especially to kind of kick in and embrace this idea, I guess, of a Friday gathering point for the elders to focus on solutions to the next generation of students. You know, starting with our high school sort of constituents, and just to put Bermuda's perspective in, or role in perspective. Bermuda is the epicenter of the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is that body of water between the North Atlantic here in Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. And that Bermuda Triangle community is the birth canal for the African American arrival in North America, because all African Americans came through that Bermuda Triangle gateway into the land of the free, the home of the brave, you know? It was an American lawyer in St. Croix that paid tribute to Bermuda's sort of role as an island over that Middle Passage journey. And that was back in 1995, 97. He started working with me here in Bermuda to memorialize this signature role that the islands played for African Americans. And out of that collaboration, we ended up putting a monument on the school grounds of the St Croix Educational Complex in 2007 to start this process of reconciling African American history with its Middle Passage origins, you know? And so at that time, we were expecting the year 2000 to be the pivot point, because that's when there was so much concentration of reparations for slavery at the United Nations level, especially with the Global Conference Against Racism. That event never happened because Colin Powell, as Secretary of State, on behalf of George Bush, refused to apologize for America's role or alleged role in the slave trade. So that consensus that was there for some form of apology and reparations in 2000 got suppressed. We now find ourselves in 2020, where this new administration apparently has come into power explicitly because of Black Lives Matter and the claim that African Americans have to reparations. And the hip hop community is to some degree implicated or polarized or obliged to admonish the Black intelligentsia, political or otherwise, to address the issue, whether it be according to the script of Kanye West or the script of Ice Cube or the other hip hop elements that are the gatekeepers to the inner city, you know? So for me, it was that urgency of the now as an advocate for restoration and rehabilitation, reparation, and so forth, to lean hard on our team. And thankfully, the team has responded with these gathering points to talk about this issue in urgency. Today is Black Friday, according to the consumer marketplace. Everybody in America should be celebrating Thanksgiving by buying as much as they can for Christmas and so forth. We're saying, well, let's use Black Friday to deal with getting back to Black, which means getting out of the red of debt and debt slavery into a position of buoyancy and economic resiliency. That's what we're starting Black Friday like that, okay? And we're focusing on forgiveness and all these other virtues and Ubuntu spirit to bring everybody together. You know, and yes, using hip hop as that amplifier to get things going. So that's where I'm at in terms of the focus, is to get this team in position. Oh, hold on a second, I got a call. Hold on a second, let me see. Hey, Glad? Oh, Andrew's in control. Yeah, Andrew's in. Oh, okay, I'll let him know. All right. Hey, Andrew, you there? Okay, hope he gets the message. We got others looking to get into the chat room.
Anyway, they're coming in now.
So just to, it's a very intensive, I would say, partnership between myself and Andrew over the last 10 years to iron out the diplomacy between the Bermuda Triangle or the islands of the Caribbean perspective on Black consciousness and the urban American projection of Black consciousness into what's, I guess, considered the belly of the beast, the great American frontier, you know? And a lot's been achieved in this 10 years of collaboration, artistically and creatively, academically, and so forth. This gathering today is just the pivot point to focus on what Compton itself can do in collaboration with the broader Caribbean Middle Passage diaspora to remind Americans, African Americans, and America itself, including the first vice presidential nominee, I guess, female of Jamaican heritage and Indian extraction, how they can become a beacon of hope for not just American first, but also the broader global population, you know? And so this team, I feel, is in the best position possible to be a vocal part of the arrival of the inauguration and the Kingdom Day weekend. The Thanksgiving or ThanksLoving spirit of today is a catalyst to get that conversation going. I'm thankful that we have the support of the goodwill of this team. Equally impressed that we have the Hollywood production or the TV production capabilities, as I understand it, from Chico's side of the equation to tell the story, Compton and Bermuda working together to heal the world.
Just to let you,
the children.
Just to let you know, Chico's at the airport. He'll be joining us in about 10 minutes.
Oh, see, it's moving. Okay, yeah, cool. At least we know, yeah.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Fair enough. So that's the context of this intensive focus on Compton and Bermuda, and starting today with I would say very real high intensity to make the most out of this holiday season, to ensure that the most vulnerable, violent-prone community in this crisis era is being addressed. Their issues are being addressed beyond Black Lives Matter into some degree of real economic, social, political, holistic recovery, you know? And at this stage, from Bermuda's side of the equation, we've done, I think, what had to be done to get the first schools into acceptance of this Friday assembly gathering. That was what we achieved 2 weeks ago at the main public high school as a proving ground for our strategy. The next likely window of another assembly is on Martin Luther King's birthday, January the 15th, 2021, for another demonstration of confidence to the schools, through the school system into the broader community. Whatever happens on that Martin Luther King Friday will be a result of what we decide on our initiative here at this bargaining table between ourselves, you know? And so I'm looking to get those kinds of details sorted out as well. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes, well, thank you so much. There are a few, while we're waiting on Chico Brown, perhaps everyone could take just a minute or so to introduce yourselves, and then I'll pick up from there. So ladies first, Sinyan, just to let you know, Sinyan is the representative of Universal Hip Hop Museum. They're based in the Bronx, New York. But as I understand it, they've just reached out to SilkyD for her to reach out to the women of hip hop to step up. And much like I was there at the visioning session when with Microsoft, when Medusa made it clear that the women of hip hop need to stand on the shoulders of the men. So technically, this whole project is a SilkyD project, a LadyLike project, and that brings in all the other elements. So with that, perhaps SilkyD, I'll let you take the floor and introduce yourself and introduce the members here of the team. After you unmute yourself, we can hear you better.
Thank you. Forget about that. Good day, everyone. Happy ThanksLoving. So blessed to have everyone on this call. I did send, as a matter of fact, an invitation to Medusa if she's on. Thank you, Sinyan, Kelly, one of our curators of Universal Hip Hop Museum, to be on this call to see exactly how we're moving forward and how hip hop should be involved with the other countries, of course, and nations, for us to educate the kids, especially about the history and all of our indigenous ways and heritage of who we are as a people. With this said, I would like to, I don't know if Lonzo Williams is on the call. He is one of our godfathers of hip hop here. Straight out of Compton. If you're familiar with NWA and that movie, he's definitely one of the beginners of the pioneers. So I'm fortunate to have him a part of this. And I've reached out to many others that along the series of Fridays, they will introduce themselves or be a part of the casting that we have for the documentaries that we'll put here, right here in the city of Compton.
Well, yes, Alonzo has not replied, but I'd like you to take the lead for the women, and that starts with Michelle. And
I am. I don't know who else is on this call. Let me see the chat. Michelle Farrell is one of our, thank you. It's one of our educators of Universal Hip Hop Museum. She is a producer, radio personality, promoter and advertiser, as well as a community activist. Sinyan, again, is one of the curators. She represents the west side of the nation. Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
How you doing, Sinyan?
Well, I'm doing well.
On that note,
I'm doing well. Just I'm actually, we just finished up the second exhibit for 1980 through 85, and we're hoping that it stays open through like mid-December, and an effort for people to get through there. So if you haven't liked our page on Facebook or Instagram, please do, so you can kind of get a glimpse into the into what the whole exhibit is about. But I'll pass the mic over to Michelle. I know she was in the process of talking.
Well, you've got
Michelle.
you've got the mic, Sinyan.
Oh, okay.
So this will be a perfect time to go ahead and introduce who you are, what the Universal Hip Hop Museum is, etc. And then we'll get back to Michelle. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure, no problem. So my name is Sinyan Kelly. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I am on the advisory board as well as one of the curators for the Universal Hip Hop Museum. I also work alongside Adam Silverstein, who's over our museum and collections department. So I kind of move fluidly between departments. We've got an amazing exhibit. We're breaking down the exhibits by era because there's so much information to put out there. The first exhibit was for the 60s through the 70s, and that was up from December 6th until maybe like mid-March. And we broke all of that down, and now we have 1980 through 85, which will be, we decided we would leave it up for the whole year because it was so much information that we had to, and artifacts that we actually have in the space. And then we're working with a couple of other organizations to have a virtual walkthrough of the museum, as well as our timeline. We actually have it down right now for the 80 through 85 because we got to tweak it a little bit, but say mid-December, if you go back onto our site, you'll see that, and it documents specific events that have happened from 1980 to 85 that had an influence on hip hop or the opposite. So if you haven't seen it, come check it out. It's amazing, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sinyan.
Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Michelle. Yeah, thank you for
great.
being on. Yeah. All right, Michelle. We have Michelle Farrell, Miss Go to Work.
Absolutely
Go
go to
ahead.
work.
Yeah.
It is so great to be here. You know, I'm on vacation because literally I'm still in the classroom. This is my 22nd year as an educator. I'm a born educator, and I want you to know I'm recently a self-published author of 200 books as well. And I am that educator that teaches on the streets of CPT. I'm behind the scenes as a networking queen of the CPT being Compton, and born and raised. It's just a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this initiative as well and work with so many great people and from across the board, different cities and worldwide. This is what I do as a social media queen, the networking queen behind the scenes. That's what they call me too as well. And it's wonderful also to be a member of so many great organizations, from NAACP to LadyLike Entertainment to just so many places. You never see me, or you hardly ever see me unless I'm doing a lot of, you know, important things, shall we say. But I'm behind the scenes if you don't see me. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you all. When I go back to school, I will not be able to participate at 10 o'clock because I'll be teaching children. But when we go back on winter break, I'll be so glad. We'll be getting a recording. So thank you so very much. Absolutely. And the list just goes so on. I know Andrew wants me to say everything that I do, but literally from in front of the camera, behind the camera, before it gets to the camera, after it's filmed, the whole 9 yards. Literally, I represent that person. And that's what the mantra go to work is. Literally.
Well,
Thank you so much.
So very much. Now we're going to shift over to
wait, Andrew.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We have another lady that's on there.
Please go right ahead.
Jenny Carrington, I see that you're on, and since you are a lady and I'm introducing all the ladies that are on the site right now, can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
SilkyD, thank you for noticing.
Of course.
I was just meditating on you and on some of the footage I had seen, and just getting to know you. My name is Jenny Carrington. I am a hip hop artist, but I'm really an artist of all genres, you know, dance, writing, and I am a film producer. So last year I walked across America on the Earth Walk to raise awareness about, you know, ways people can come together and collaborate and build corporations that are conscious, using music, art, and fitness to heal the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for being on.
Very closely with Corin and Andrew. I'm currently in LA, but I'm bi-coastal, and I'm doing some of the fundraising, networking, like collaborative designing of the systems that can hold all these affiliate organizations to work really well together.
Beautiful. Thank you for being on. Now, Andrew.
Well, she mentioned Sir Bailey, and she also works with Sir Bailey. In fact, I met her at Sir Bailey's. So, Sir Bailey, perhaps you could introduce yourself.
Hey, peace and love. Friday for forgiveness. Good to see you again, Semyon. It's been a while. Haven't seen each other since we were down at DJ Sketches. Conversation.
Yeah, it's been a while. So much has happened since then. It's good to see you. Good to hear you too.
Likewise, none the least, COVID and murders of our people continuously. So I'm excited to be an educator with Youth Justice Coalition, working with Michelle and SilkyD, hello Queens, my beautiful sisters, with the Universal Hip Hop Museum on that education staff. I'm an educator, like I said, with Youth Justice Coalition, Free LA. We're celebrating and super thankful for this Tuesday. The Board of Supervisors continue to take steps to honor what was promised over a year ago to divert funding from policing and prisons into youth development. And Art Life Live the project that I do provides internship opportunities for the young people in media and education, entertainment and education, edutainment, as Kara Swan would say. The Living Well Tour is about connection, expression, because those are the elements of healing. We have a lot of addiction and despair in our communities from post-traumatic and prolonged traumatic stress. And so we just understand that like the living well that Christ is, our love can overflow as we extend grace to ourselves, extend grace to one another. So that's where I am. Sir Love One, Free LA, Youth Justice Coalition, Art Life Live, the Living Well Tour, an ambassador of Christ, and a proud member of this group right here too. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Sir Bailey. Now, we're still waiting on Chico to join us, but I did at the last moment invite Papa Cooper Curley. He's originally from Belize, although we met here in Los Angeles, I think back in 1985, 86. And just to let you know, the bookend of all this is going to be the Kingdom Day weekend next year. So we intend to have on that Friday, which is Martin Luther King's birthday, hip hop, 5 elements of hip hop. And then on Saturday, reggae. And then on Sunday, gospel. So as you can hear, I'm in the streets. So Papa Curley, please introduce yourself.
All right. Greetings, everybody. It's extreme pleasure to be on board with so many fellow educators. As a matter of fact, I am also an educator up here in Palmdale, California. I service mostly at-risk youths with emotional disturbances. But getting to the music, I am actually, like you said, I'm a conscious reggae / hip hop artist for much years now. Socially conscious, and I also had a group in Belize. I'm very active all the way in Belize myself. My group is YEMA, Youth Empowerment Movement Agenda, and pretty much the focus on that is actually trying to move the youths away from the violence in the streets right now, and have them get back to putting their hands in the ground, planting stuff, agricultural base, and away from this tourism-based economy that Belize is suffering, and most of the Caribbean can attest to suffering from with the coronavirus at this time. But just a short, I actually have my new project out, my new album after about two decades hiatus actually, and working in the classrooms with youths, called Griot. I definitely would want each and every one of you on the panel to get that, because it's chock full of social justice content. So with that, I'll just back off and learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you so very much. I think the only, quote, non-hip hop member so far is Terrence Mayfield. He's here representing, among other things, the United Hood Nation, and Brad Carson. It was actually Brad in 2016 that, before the United Hood Nation met, asked me to step into the role of Zero Time Solutions Facilitator. And from that time to this time, I've been working diligently to do that. Terrence Mayfield is that person here right now that's at the forefront of connecting together the dollars with the community and the grassroots community. So Terrence, please take a moment to introduce yourself. And we're still waiting on Chico Brown, but if he hasn't come after that, we'll introduce William Wells, whose time might be short. Go right ahead, Terrence.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. My job is to find out, how do we bring capital into our community in a way that we're able to make decisions of what we want to see happen and how we want it to happen. Everything from housing to small business development, curating ideas. Unfortunately, I've been dealing with some of the VCs the last week, and what is surprising to me, even though I knew it intellectually, I had not experienced it in real time, that when it comes to them looking at our ideas and what we are able to create, I think that it is a travesty that they are picking and choosing what brings them the greatest value without any concern for how it impacts the creator, the creative person that brought it to market. And so I've looked at several tools in the marketplace, opportunity zones, which I talk about all the time, opportunity fund creation, Reg A plus and Reg D, and then creating private equity funds that allow us to do not only buy the block, but also fund the block. We have a international strategic partner that will allow us to do some things with solar energy. I had a conversation yesterday with a gentleman about affordable housing. And the reason that this is important, I was looking at Chico Brown's video this morning that Andrew was so kind to send to me, and SilkyD sent it right behind it. So I said, let me take a look. And when I looked, he was talking about affordable housing, and he was talking about converting some of the warehouses into something that would be sustainable for the children. Well, the problem is the cost for tear down and rebuild unless you go into 3D housing. And so I was on a call yesterday with a gentleman from an Asian country. I can't speak about it yet, but talking about creating 3D houses and commercial buildings that can go up once they are printed, they can be up in less than a month. And because they are 3D, they are built with the energy already in them. So where our people normally could not afford a home, they can now afford a home because the cost is somewhere around 15% of what a normal home acquisition would be to have one printed. Obviously, there's some labor, but it's really an affordable entity. And that energy becomes something that can be reproduced and sold to the mainstream market to produce money. The other piece that we looked at when I was watching his video, and as I'm listening to you educators, I was on a call with with 4 of the aeronautical companies last week, looking at putting an incubator in place. Sir Bailey's aware of this to a degree, putting a technology incubator in place with these young people being able to participate, including justice impacted individuals, where they can take a 9-week course and make between $25 and $50 an hour, providing technology solutions for small businesses. So that sounds like a lot, but it's really quite simple. My job is to raise the capital. And so I look at every tool that allows us to raise the capital so that we can have people win and finally be in a position to make the money ourselves and make the financial decisions ourselves. We have got to take the power away from people that don't look like us, who are deciding what's valuable and what's not. And I think I talked long enough because I see that look on Andrew's face.
Well, thank you so very much, Terrence. Corin, I'm going to shift into William Wells, unless you'd like to make a contribution or introduce the team for Bermuda. Ball's in your court, Corin Smith.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, that's just a good time to introduce the Bermuda team. Yeah, Gladwin's there, my mentor, entrepreneur, revolutionary extraordinaire. And Damon Wade is in the technology sector, interested enough with solar energy. So it's interesting hearing Terrence's arrival, but definitely with Bermuda, at least we're in a good place shadowing Compton. We got the same issues, whereas Bermuda is considered to be another world, a rich man's paradise. Compton's considered to be like a ghetto, I guess, or like gangster, sort of dominated. Famous for NWA and gangster rap. Bermuda's famous for being a rich white man's paradise. But Black culture is a common thread that we all have on this together. And so I'm grateful that we're all here. I can let Glad speak for himself, and if he's got capacity, and then Damon. Glad's not picking up. How about Damon? Are you there, Damon?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, could you just introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I just want to first say that it's an honor, a privilege, and I'm excited to be working with individuals who have such capacity and expertise. As Corin mentioned, I'm in the in the energy business. I actually went to school on a soccer scholarship, and that's sports and music were kind of the things that helped me get through university and helped shape me as an individual. I was a big hip hop fan or rap fan, as we called it in those days, in the late '80s, and then I actually would have considered myself a rap artist at that time, but you'd have to ask other people whether or not that was a suitable characteristic or not. But anyway, I joined with Corin because of the vision that he has around empowering Black people, especially young Black males, which is, probably the best place to start as it relates to bringing us out of this history of destruction, self-destruction, and so on and so forth. And so one of the things that we find in Bermuda and probably in the US as well was that from a political point of view or decision-making point of view, it's difficult for people that look like ourselves and otherwise to take advice from people that look like ourselves. We have a term in Bermuda, maybe used elsewhere as well. If it's white, it's right. And white people subscribe to that, but Black people subscribe to that as well. And the other aspect is whether or not it's local or it's foreign. And so what I like about this opportunity is that we have the opportunity to bring foreigners like yourselves in to kind of validate, unfortunately, what it is that we're trying to do, but also to combine efforts. You've got issues in Compton. We got, as Corin mentioned, similar issues in Bermuda. We are a much smaller environment or footprint. So one would think that we could solve that pretty quickly or pretty easily, but it has been in place since I went to school in the late 80s, the gang mentality and so on and so forth, which actually came from the US. So anyway, I'm interested in developing relationships and networking to bring capital, as Terrence talked about. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a energy solutions company, and looking at projects that will not only bring lower energy costs to locals, but also provide job opportunities for people from my background that may not necessarily be able to be hired or deemed unemployable, may have done some time or whatever the case may be. If we have businesses and we are focused on our people, then we could, bring some employment to this individual. So looking forward to working with the team, and my hat goes off to all of those who are responsible for starting this initiative.
Well, thank you so much, Damon. Gladwin, do you choose to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? And while he's deciding that, let me say I did put into the chat the history of Bermuda through music. That's a production that Gladwin Simmons produced back in 1997, I believe. And it demonstrated the very same things that we're experiencing here in Compton and other places. The government decided they wiped out the entertainment cultural hub of the community. And we're faced here with Leimert Park being the last major African-American cultural hub west of the Mississippi, facing that same threat unless we pull ourselves together as individuals in our community in Bermuda. But with that, Gladwin, unless you want to unmute yourself, I'm going to shift it over to William Wells, and thank you so much for your patience. I know your time is limited. So William Wells, based on what you've heard so far, please introduce yourself and then give us a demonstration, if you would, of what it is you bring to the table.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. May I share my screen? Okay. So hello, everybody. I'm really humbled and honored to be with all of these brilliant minds and artists, hip hop artists. And so thank you for allowing us to just share what resources we have available that is open to the public and especially to the youth. I am the executive director of Esteem Village. I founded Esteem Village in 2014. Get ready to share my screen. And Esteem Village, we provide STEM engagement, robotics, computer coding, game design, drone challenges, race car engineering. We have, I just posted a link. I like what Terrence said about this being economics. So we're doing this to change socioeconomic inequality, address it, and make sure that we can put young people into the economy, into a digital knowledge and information-based economy. The two links that I just shared with you are actually these videos here. Let me minimize. This is a group of middle school, high school, college, and my program director that did a presentation for the 3rd District, working with LA's E7 Architecture Studio, Michael Rendler, who has been working with this group, and the University of Missouri, Kansas City since May. The second video, this one here, is the renderings that these young people made. There are 2 7th graders that are actually presenting this, that did the renderings. I think you'll find that very empowering. Andrew, before I go,
I'm sorry, yes. I was just going to ask you to share more of your screen, but please go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. Andrew told me to talk about December 6th, our NSBE chapter, which I'll show you the officers. We are a National Society of Black Engineers chapter. This is our junior executive board. And these 6 young people, as a way of a fundraiser, decided to host a Black Heritage Awareness Celebration. There's the calendar there. We have Dr. Carl B. Mack, who was the vice president of the Seattle NAACP. We have George Smith, who was one of the 6 co-founders of the National Society of Black Engineers. We have Angela Polk, who is a Broadway singer and actress. We have Brigadier General Arnold Gordon Bray, which some of you may be familiar with, who will be the Master of Ceremonies. And they're going to be talking about, December 6th, 2020, is actually the 150th anniversary of the ratification of the 13th Amendment. So they're going to have, it's a 90-minute event at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Standard Time, B1 Pacific. And the people who join, who attend, they will get the Black Heritage calendar, which is a 364-day calendar that every day, this is the calendar here, and every day we'll have some moment in Black history. It'd be a great Christmas gift to be able to share our history and our knowledge. The students said they're not teaching us this in school. A lot of our mentors aren't teaching us this, so this is an opportunity for us to educate ourselves and also to share that information. So hopefully you guys will consider joining. And I'll move over now into our virtual academy, and I'll take you in and I'll show you a couple of the lessons, because I do know there's some educators here, and Andrew said that you may want to use some of this platform, or actually see if we can post your booth, create a booth for you inside the platform. So it's free to join for users, students, young adults. We have over 6,000 K through 12, math, science, language arts, technology, aviation, anything you name it goes into this booth. The young people are consistently building it out. If you join, to sign up, all you have to do is hit join now, put in your information, and then you'll get a free account. Inside of this booth, not only do we have courses that you can take that are self-paced or can be taught, but we also have events such as we show movies. So we did Dream Big, the engineering movie. We just had some Black engineers that had a panel. And so all of this information, if you click on that link, it takes you in here. and they're all archived videos or live events. We'll stream live events in here as well. The exhibit hall is where you will find the different booths, right? And so I'm going to actually share with you one of the lessons, if I may. Let me go down here to exhibitors. These are some of the exhibitors we have in here. I'm going to go to K through 12 social studies. I'm going to stop my share and reshare my screen so that I can include the computer sound. Okay. So if you go into social studies, you'll see a link to social studies. Click on this link. I'm going to put in, it takes you down to these lessons. I'm going to put in Katherine Johnson and the Human Computers. All the student has to do is put in their name and they can join the session. Session is Social Studies K through 12. This is about Katherine Johnson. It has the topic, introduction. It's about 25 to 30 minutes. It's fully interactive. Lesson plan is already built in. Tells what the learning objectives are, the essential question. Let's connect. More content on Katherine Johnson, the critical lens, video.
Lost in history, we found the unsung heroes whose story wasn't told, but who shaped the globe, like Katherine Johnson. She was born without a silver spoon, West Virginia mountain town, 1918, that's the year she touched the ground. A black girl, born at a time when girls weren't.
And then and this is fully interactive, so trajectory, the path of a flying object, unfair prejudice treatment, discrimination, space race, competition between nations. So it'll let them know if it's right or wrong. VR, has VR lessons. VR is a part of each one of the lessons. So this is a picture of the rockets at NASA Kennedy Space Center. And then it has a quiz. And if you're teaching it live, which you have the option to, you can actually do a collaboration space with your students. Again, like I said, it's fully interactive, so they can write the answers on their computers. It works from a smartphone or a tablet, or if their heart isn't good, they can type what they want in as well. And so all of this is available at no charge, and then hit submit. I'll take you into the math, go back to the exhibit hall. We have financial literacy courses in here. We are an Envision Center for Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas through HUD. And so HUD FDIC actually, during our summer camp, they taught financial literacy courses. It's all archived here with the lesson plan. So you could go in and teach financial literacy to your students if you wanted to as well. I'll show you one more lesson in math, just so that you can see that, you know, there is a hip hop element to a lot of these lessons. And we did this so that if the students in 8th grade find they're like at 6th grade level in math, they can come in here in the privacy of their own, in the comfort of their own home, or a tutor, grandma, or sibling, and actually be able to go back to the 6th grade, catch themselves up. We took math to the Common Core. So 6th grade math, there are 10, we took about 100 lessons and narrowed it down to 60 lessons and gave a roadmap so that parents would know, okay, these are the 4 critical areas that your child needs to understand 6th grade math in order to be prepared, well prepared to go into the 7th grade math. And so Topic Spark, again, it's an introduction. I'll play this last one. Student types their name in, they join the lesson. Again, about the series. This was going to be on ratios. learning objectives, the central question, then you connect about ratios, a little more about ratios.
Never play this on the radio, cause we rap about ratios. They'll never play this on the radio, because the song is all about a ratio.
Yo, check it out, this is my brand new ride. Subwoofers in the back and leather seats inside. But the color of the car, it has to go. I'm mixing paint to find a perfect ratio. Ratios compare quantities, right? Let's make a color that shows my ferocity. The ratio of orange paint, the goal is 2-to-4. For every 2 pints of orange, 4 go get poured. Okay. Could write it like this, I like that. Or with a fraction bar laid flat. Okay. The order that we write the numbers is important. 4 to 2 would mean 4 pints of orange. A ratio can compare a part of a whole to another part of the whole. Like this bucket holds 3 pints of blue for each pint of white.
And then it goes back into your into the interactive lessons, so they can make sure they have the concept. So that is all I have to share. And again, we're making this all available. Making it available to whoever wants to have access to it. I do know we have people from all over the world. We had 10 students in Ghana that participated with us in our summer camp, and there are students over in Ghana that are logging into this portal and accessing the lessons. So Andrew, that's it. Any questions, any comments, I'll be more than willing to take them.
I'll open it up to any questions from the audience.
Hi, Sheldon, William, it's Corin, can you hear me?
Hey, Corin.
Hi, yeah, thanks. I'm really impressed with that package. I was curious about entering like new modules into the curriculum, or what's the process for that kind of
so that's a great question, right? So one thing that we're trying to do is basically create an ecosystem so that we're able to go in and our young people are able to go in and have access. So if it's good content, it's in the education space, just get with me and we can populate. I'll share my screen one more time and show you. I don't think I've closed it up. Yeah. So if you go into the exhibit hall, each one of these are booths, right? So this is a booth for our NSBE BDPA. This is the booth for Live in Peace, where the Fridays for Future Forgiveness videos are going to be loaded. Community Action Agency, they serve high school students in 3 counties here in Kansas City. They use our curriculum. Some of it they pay for, and they just log in. So yeah, if you have some content, you want to make it available. Because of Andrew, we're willing to do booths for you. Dream Camps, Angela Polk, Angela, who was the entertainer I told you about, she actually had she has these dream camps. So she brought in, back behind the scenes of people that's worked on Power, worked on Hamilton, and they come in and they actually have day-long camps with students from all over that they sign up. And so she has a booth here. When she goes live with anything or she does a camp, we just create it. You'll see here, this is a camp that she ran August 10th and 14th. And each day was a link, and each day had a different subject matter. So dance camp was Monday. Broadway camp with Desmond Newsom was Tuesday. Behind the scenes with Mercedes Cook and costume design was Wednesday. Candace Maxwell did the film camp, and then Max Sachs did a music camp. And so, yeah, we can add content. We can do one-off events. Some of that may have a little bit Wealthy Life, Angel Rich. She's selling her book. She just released Credit Rich with Experian. She's doing pre-sale orders now. I don't know if you know Angel magazine dubbed her as the next Steve Jobs. Financial literacy and young adults is her thing. She wrote the book History of the Black Dollar, and she also re-engineered Candy Crush into a game called Credit Stacker to teach young people financial literacy. So yeah, we can definitely speak offline and add different content if you're interested in doing that.
Very good. All right, that helps. Thanks very much.
Yeah, Jack and Jill hosted their Jack and Jill Central Region. Yeah, they hosted their teen conference in this portal, and so we could personalize the inside of the booth. Their founders welcome auction. They had a TikTok challenge, chop challenge, videos, had their live conferences as well. So yeah, we definitely can accommodate. Oh, Andrew, I want to show them one last thing. This doesn't cost. So to Terrence's point about getting our young people and even our young adults and our adults retooling on the latter, getting them into the economy. These courses do cost, but there you can see we have Adobe CC, Autodesk, cloud computing, computer fundamentals, database technologies, IC3 certification, information certification, K through 12 soft skill curriculum, leadership and management, networking, office productivity, QuickBooks, personal productivity, programming, safety and compliance, web and graphic design. And so each of these courses has a pre-assessment, it has an actual class, it has a lab, and it has a post-assessment score of 80% or higher gets a certificate, 90% or higher gets a certificate and a badge. And once they've passed this, like if they did the IC3 GS6 or GS5, if they did that, then they would be ready to go on and take the industry certification, get an industry certification for digital literacy or net security, CompTIA security. And we are also able to deliver the industry exams and vouchers to take the exams. So we are really looking, and our whole thing is to make sure that we can get young people into the economy, but more importantly, a knowledge and information-based economy.
May I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Wells, I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. So Michael Rindler has been trying to get me to connect with you for a while.
Yes, sir. Michael and I have been working for 4 years. And I've heard about you.
Yes, sir. So the reason I'm talking, the question I have is, how quickly can we connect? My corporate partner, Kia Sarah, is asking us to put together a package for them that is training for their national staff, so that we can create a situation for them to be able to certify their people in their program.
We can connect right away. If you'd like to get something on the calendar for Monday or Tuesday, I'm definitely open to that.
Yes, sir.
I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Andrew knows that we're here to serve. We believe it's an all-in. And we believe all of your minds, the manifestation of the next Black Wall Street will be virtual. And that's just all of us in this knowledge and information-based economy, bringing our minds together and sharing our knowledge and information and passing it down into the hands of the people we need to get it to.
Well, thank you so very much, William. Any more questions for William before we shift? And thank you so much for your time, William. We wanted to go right ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, no worries. You're quite welcome. I'm sorry I wasn't able to join a couple other times, but And when family pulls me away for a day, I gotta give family that time.
Well, this is your other family, so we appreciate your time with us as well. Thank you. Okay, with that being said, we've reached our hour, so thank you everyone for attending. You don't have to leave. I'm gonna keep it open as long as there's someone here, but I do want to give you a little backgrounder. In the background here, you'll see LA Trade Tech Architecture Encounter. As I mentioned to you, William is in Kansas City, so he has an Encounter Kansas City, but we also have an Encounter Global, and we have over 1,600 members on our Facebook page. So SilkyD Williams, I need to let yourself and Senyon and of course the other members here know that everything we have is at your fingertips. So we just want to make sure we plan on a weekly basis to go forward. This will be more like a charrette amongst ourselves, find out what tools and resources we have, who's at the table. Next week, the lineup might change, but the idea is for us to produce a docu-reality series about the real life activities and changes that we're having. So with that, I'll open up the floor before I begin to close this out. Any more questions, comments?
Yes, I will hand this down to my queens that had came on this line. Usually I'm here, I'm on the site by myself, but I am very grateful to have them. And Senyon, I would leave it up to her to have more input to contribute for Universal Hip Hop Museum. And that connection to keep doing what we're doing in the 5 elements of hip hop.
Right. Well, hi everybody. Thank you again for having me on. I'm sorry I'm in a noisy place right now, so I'm driving. But I have you on speaker. But what I was going to say was, with regards to everything that's going on, what I would like to do is have be more involved and have a closer tie with what it is you guys are doing, so that way we can work, in parallel to the Universal Hip Hop Museum, because Martha Diaz, who's the founder of the Hip Hop Education Center, as well as an official hip hop archivist, is over our education department for the Universal Hip Hop Museum, and has a series of panels and interviews and different types of curriculum that she's developing around the artifacts and the whole exhibit at the Universal Hip Hop Museum. So, in an effort to combine what you guys are doing, I would definitely like to be involved more so that I can make that happen.
I appreciate you, Queen. We will. I know we're family, and we have a lot on our plate, but I really appreciate you coming on board, and hopefully we have more. I look forward to Martha, because that's another one of my great sister friends. And this mission of what we have as queens, and as far as hip hop is concerned, in every way when it has to deal with our youth and our community. So I appreciate you for being on this call, and look forward to us doing more to what is happening globally as well as in our own individual community.
Well, thank you all so much. In the background here, you'll see trn.tv. Lady Alicia Hamilton wasn't able to join us, but we do have 400,000 passive subscribers on her internet channel, and we actually have a space where we can produce our own content. So SilkyD, what I'm asking you to do is reach out to Half Pint, because I know she's very much involved with Hip Hop for Justice, and to connect with Sir Bailey, because the idea is for Art Life Live and those youth to produce broadcast quality public service announcements, infomercials, and commercials about their own activities and our community benefit organizations. We only have 5 corporations that own 95% of the world's media. So I'm just suggesting that we take this opportunity to give our children a chance to become empowered in what they call the 4th Industrial Revolution. The final sponsor here I'll bring up in the background here is the Edfu Foundation. Edfu is actually a physical place in Egypt. It is the site of the oldest temple of Horus on earth, and the founder, Sheldon Williams, is of indigenous bloodline here in the United States, but also in Nigeria. So this organization is a 501c4 which means that it doesn't give tax deductible vouchers for contributions, but it supports a 501c3, the Conservancy Corps. And both of those are here at our fingertips to open up what's called ECOSOC. That's a branch of the United Nations that interfaces directly with the civil society and United Nations. March of next year, they're having the Women's Forum. I'm hoping we can produce content in this group that will allow us to get on the international stage, because again, in the link I sent you, we're in the International Decade for People of African Descent. And it's my opinion that all of them need to be aware of this Millennium Arch and how important it is to connecting the entire diaspora together. So with that, I'm ready to close out. Corey Smith, any final thoughts, or anyone else? Now's that time.
Hey, Andrew, I just want to ask everybody to please consider supporting our young people next Sunday afternoon and join us at 3 o'clock. It's going to be a powerful 90 minutes. And the calendar is just off the hook. It's off the hook, and I think you'll enjoy it. Be a great Christmas gift.
Well, actually, I did include the link when I sent out the email to everyone, but if you'd like to put the information here for anyone to join, you're welcome to. And I'll send a recording out to everyone on this broadcast, and you can share it amongst who you choose so we can follow up as we go forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Corey Smith, I'm about to sign out. Any last thoughts or words?
Have a blessed day.
Yes.
Go to work.
All right.
Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.